Hi everybody, today we will be making good old-fashioned pancakes. Before we actually get started with cooking the pancakes, we will be talking about the most important step, which is the mise en place. Mise en place is a French term that means everything in its place. So I've already measured the ingredients and I have every ingredient in a separate bowl. This makes it easy during the cooking process because I'm not scrambling looking for an ingredient that I need while my griddle's on and while I've started preparing my recipe. Beside each ingredient on the paper that I had a little box. So I'm gonna check off the ingredients as they're measured and good to go. That way, before I start, I can look through everything, make sure that I have everything that is needed, and then I can start with my recipe. Today, you will be working in groups of 2 to 6. Everybody in the group will have their own role. So we're gonna start off by you will be nominating a chef. This person is responsible to read and understand the recipe. This person will be going over all the ingredients, making sure that everything, that you guys have all of the ingredients. And then before you guys start preparing the pancakes, the chef will call out mise en place complete. Then I will come over and I will make sure you guys have everything before you guys get the go ahead to get started. Everybody else in the group will be the cook. So as a cook, you are responsible to measure, prepare, and organize the ingredients. You are to keep the workspace clean and safe. And then lastly, communicate with your chef and with each other. I have already put my apron on. I have long hair, so I tied my hair back. The last thing that I'm going to do before we get started is wash my hands. This is my mise en place for my pancakes. So I have my tools that I will be using. I have my whisk and my spatula. I have here my chocolate chips, my melted butter, my flour. I need 1 egg for this recipe. I have my milk in a measuring cup, and then I have my sugar, my salt, and my baking powder all in this little bowl. I'm going to be cooking my pancakes on a griddle. My griddle is electric, so it's plugged in off to the side. And then last but not least, I have a spatula that I will be using to flip my pancakes. One more time, I'm going to cross-reference everything on my recipe with my ingredients that I have here. I've already done this, but I'm going to do it again. I have my large mixing bowl where I will be mixing all of my ingredients, all the tools that are needed, and then double check, and then we are ready to begin making the pancakes. When we mix our recipe, we're going to add all the dry ingredients in first. So I'm going to start off. I have my large mixing bowl that's big enough to accommodate all of my ingredients. I'm going to take my flour. I'm going to add that in. Okay. Then I am going to take my salt, sugar, and baking powder. I'm going to be adding that in. Then I will be taking my whisk, mixing everything together. Okay, as I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my whisk and I'm going to make like a well in the middle. And this is where I will be putting my wet ingredients. So once I have that, I'm going to pour in my butter. I'm going to put in my milk. And then last but not least, I'm going to be adding in my egg as well. Okay, once I have all of the ingredients, I'm going to be mixing. So I'm going to take my whisk, and on the outside, I'm going to be moving everything in, making sure that I mix all of the ingredients together to get a nice consistency. I add my chocolate chips in right before I cook, so I will not be adding them in yet. I'm making sure to eliminate the larger clumps. Okay. So here is what I'm left with. Okay, and then once I am done with that, before I actually start cooking, I'm going to let it sit for a couple minutes. Take my ½ cup chocolate chips, add them in. And take my spatula, I'm going to scoop everything that is on the side, add it in, and then I'm going to almost make like a folding motion to add the chocolate chips into my batter. So while that is sitting, I'm going to turn my griddle on and I'm going to spray it with my cooking spray. So this is the griddle that I will be using. I make these pancakes every Saturday for my family, so I know that most recipes call for a medium heat. I'm going to turn this on to about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. I know that that's the temperature that works best with this griddle to get the best pancakes. So then I'm going to take my cooking spray and I'm going to lightly spray the top of the griddle. And I'm going to wait until the cooking spray becomes clear, and that's how I know that my griddle is ready. We've let our batter sit for a bit. It does look a little bit fluffier. My cooking spray is clear, so I'm going to take my measuring cup. This is what I found best. This recipe usually makes 7 to 8 pancakes depending on the size. I take my 1/4 cup measuring spoon and I actually use this to measure out my pancakes. So I'm going to take my batter and I'm going to put down the batter, trying to space it as evenly as possible onto my griddle. You want to leave the pancakes on for about a minute. Another thing that you can do is, so now obviously they're super liquidy, you can tell just by looking at the side. When they are ready, if you look, the ends are dry. So that's how you know that your pancake is ready to be flipped. So we're gonna start off. So as I said, we're gonna wait about a minute. So these are the pancakes that are cooking. So you can see underneath the cooking spray is bubbling. The edges are not dry yet. We'll give it a couple more seconds. So the edges of my pancakes are dry. They don't appear to be liquidy. So I'm going to take my spatula, look underneath. When I flip it, it should be brown. So let's have a look here. There's the first one. There's the second pancake. And there is the third pancake. So now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Wait about a minute. I don't push down on my pancakes when I'm cooking them, and I find that that actually leaves them super fluffy, so I'm just going to wait. Sometimes what I do, if the edges have like dripped farther away, I will like push them back towards the rest of the pancake. But I take my spatula, I push down a little bit. I want to see that my spatula bounces back up. That's how I know that my pancake is ready. And give it a couple more seconds. They're almost ready. So once my pancakes are ready, looking underneath, making sure that they are brown color, I will be taking them off, putting them on a separate plate. We usually have our pancakes with fruit. So I took my pancakes off, put them on a plate. I have another set of pancakes currently being cooked. So we're just gonna cut into the pancakes so that you can see the chocolate chips are melted. They're super fluffy. But this is what our pancakes look like. Bon appetit!